Hello, everybody. What's going on? Dependent Fanatic here. I hope you all had a great Independence Day weekend. It was a good one for me. Finally, a day in the 70s here in mid Michigan and not the 80s. So, I got the garage door open. Another glorious day. Here we go. We're continuing on with the National Title Contender Series, and it is Oregon's turn. Oregon went 13-0 last year in the regular season, won the Big Ten title, and then lost the game in the college football playoff to Ohio State. Oregon beat the likes of Boise State, Ohio State in the regular season, Illinois, Michigan, and Penn State last year. So, how does the reigning Big Ten champs rebound from that one loss to Ohio State? Well, head coach Dan Lanning will have a brand new quarterback, and many other players will be new at their positions this year. The schedule is relatively difficult, but these players who are proven and upper class say Oregon is a national title contender. They have recruited well, so I expect depth behind these players that I'm about to mention. I'm just going to give you some of these stars that are going to be here for you. Behind those players, you will have some depth. Without any further ado, we start at quarterback, just like every other contender that I have covered. I will put this in a playlist, and you can go watch all the other contenders on that playlist. So I'll put that in the card right up here. Dante Moore is the quarterback. He's a junior this season, 6'3", 210 pounds. He hasn't quite hacked it after spurning Michigan out of Detroit, is where he comes from. But he had 11 touchdowns and 9 interceptions 2 years ago, which prompted the Dylan Gabriel transfer in last year. And for last season, Dante Moore backed up Gabriel and was 7 of 8 for 49 yards is all. Quarterback may be an issue here for Oregon. It reminds me of Michigan team last season, full of talent, but the questionable quarterback spot. But I think Dante Moore is better than Davis Warren, so 7 and 5 should be out of the question for you guys. It is up to the offensive coordinator, Will Stein, to keep the offense rolling for the Ducks. The offensive line is something to be envied out there in Eugene, which will keep Moore safe and make a path for Oregon's playmakers. 3 experienced offensive linemen transferred in. Isaiah World at left tackle comes in from Nevada. He's going to be a senior, 6'8", 312 pounds. He started all 13 games for the Wolfpack last year. At left guard, Emmanuel Pregnon comes in from USC, a senior as well. 6'5", 320 pounds. He started all 13 games for USC and allowed no sacks. Center, Lapani Lalulu is going to be a junior, 6'2", 325 pounds. He started last year at Oregon itself. And then right guard Matthew Bedford is going to be a senior, 6'6", 315 pounds. He had 11 starts in 2023 for Oregon, but assuming that he was injured last year, he got beat out, but now it's going to be his turn. Right tackle Alex Harkey is a senior, transfer in from Texas State, 6'6", 305 pounds. Started 12 games for Texas State and played 972 snaps. Behind all that, the extension of the offensive line at tight end, you have Kenyon Sadiq, a junior, coming back, 6'3", 245 pounds. He had 24 catches and 308 yards. That's a 12.8 average. He also had 2 receiving touchdowns. At running back, you got a couple noteworthy guys. Noah Whittington, the senior, is back, 5'8", 200 pounds. He had 118 carries for 540 yards. That's a 4.6 average, and he had 6 rushing touchdowns. He also had 24 catches for 136 yards and 2 TDs receiving. And then Mekhi Hughes is going to be a junior from Tulane. He's transferring in. 5'11", 210 pounds. He had 265 carries for the Green Wave 1,401 yards last season, and that's a 5.3 average. He also had 15 rushing touchdowns. He had 19 catches for 176 yards, receiving 9.3 average, and 2 receiving touchdowns himself. So who's on the outside that Dante Moore can connect with? Well, not anything really that proven besides a couple of guys here. Gary Bryant Jr. will be a senior. He is 5'11", 180 pounds. He had 30 catches for 442 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2023. He's back now. And then wide receiver Malik Benson is going to be a senior from Florida State last year. 6'1", 195 pounds. He had 25 catches for 311 yards and a touchdown. So I think this offense can be more Big Ten capable, meaning more ground game, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, great defense. This offense is something that could make a playoff if they play to their defensive strengths. I don't think it's going to be the high-flying, run-around type thing that Dylan Gabriel had for you guys last year, but that's okay. Dan Lanning's defense, headed by Tosh Lapoy at defensive coordinator, is pretty deep. Here are the experienced players with production. At defensive end, you got Mateo Ugalele, a junior, 6'5", 270 pounds. He had 38 tackles, 10.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles, and an interception on the defensive line. At the jack position, which is really another edge position, you got Tatum Tuioti, a junior, 6'3", 255 pounds, 58 tackles, and 5.5 sacks in his own right. And then Bear Alexander comes in at defensive tackle, a senior, 6'3", 315 pounds. He had 47 tackles, 1.5 sacks in 2023, so 2 years ago. At the MAC position, Bryce Bocher is going to be a senior. He is 6'2", 225 pounds, almost 100 tackles last year, 94 to be exact, 2 sacks, 1 interception, and 4 pass breakups. And then at the money position, another linebacker spot, you have Devin Jackson, another senior, 6'2", 230 pounds, 47 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 2 pass breakups. And then at nickel, you got a guy, Jadon Canaday, a senior, another senior, from Ole Miss. He's coming in from the Rebels. 5'10", 175 pounds. He had 38 tackles and 11 pass breakups. And then a couple corners. Jaleel Florence is going to be a senior, and Theron Johnson is going to be a senior. Jaleel is 6'1", 190 pounds, had 27 tackles, 1 sack, and an interception in 2023. So, some of these players did not play last year, but had a good year the year prior, and you're expecting them to step up here for you and bounce back. And then Theron Johnson is 5'11", 182 pounds. He comes in from Northwestern. He had 53 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 10 pass breakups. And then you got a pretty good safety coming in from Purdue, strong safety, Dylan Teneman. 6 foot, 207 pounds. But listen to this, 104 tackles. The guy was their whole defense. It was a sieve for Purdue last year, so that understandable why he has the big number there in tackles. But 1 sack and 6 pass breakups as well. So Oregon is going to have depth, but they need some of these guys to step up and prove themselves at nose tackle and strong safety. Really, the defensive line is my biggest concern, but I know that Dan Lanning will get it right. So now let's look at the schedule and a potential regular season record, shall we? Their win total was 10.5 wins when it came out, and I did not bet that. It was too close to my number, but maybe now, if it's still there, I might just go ahead and bet it. But let's see what they're going to do here. Middle Tennessee State, or MTST, that's a win. You have Oklahoma State at home, who went 3-9 last year. It's at home, that's a win. You're at Northwestern, that's a win. Oregon State at home is a win. And then, at the end of the month of September, you go to Happy Valley to play Penn State, and I think you take an L in that game. Right out of that, you have a bye week, which is good, and then you have Indiana at home. I think you beat them at home. At Rutgers is a win. Wisconsin at home is a win. Then your second bye week. Now, rest versus rust, I don't know. You go to Iowa. I think maybe you get a little bit rusty after that bye. It's hard to play in Kinnick. It's hard to win those games. I have it as your second loss of the season as of right now. Minnesota at home is a win. USC at home is a win. And then you are at Washington at the end of the regular season. They only went 6-7 last year, but Jed Fish is going to have that program humming. I think you take a third loss there. So why, how are you a national title contender if you go 9-3? Well, I think 9-3 teams are a possibility to make the college football playoff this season. The Big Ten and SEC have the best shot at it, of course, because of their strength of conferences. Yeah, if you make it to the college football playoff and you're Oregon, then you could do what Ohio State did last year, have some losses, get there and run through the playoff and win the national title. So 2 teams remain in the national title contender series. There's one from the Big Ten, which makes 4 total for that conference, and there's one more from the SEC, which makes 4 playoff teams for them as well. After that, conference predictions and playoff predictions will commence. So what do you guys think? Can Oregon go 9-3 or better and make the college football playoff and be a national title contender? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all, and have a great day out there, everybody.